Greeting, boys and boyettes, goils and goils.
Yo.
Alright. So this week we got...
Shot it.
So this week we got Dim Mac, Enter the Dragon. Where are we going here?
Versed, Disincarnate. wait, put yours up. There you go. So this is, I gave this one to this boy. And he gave me Dim Mac, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Dim Mac.
So, yeah, I fucking got in this album probably 2011. I love it.
I've barely listened to Dim Mac. Yeah. I'm kind of embarrassed to say
I would say this album's completely different than all their other shit in a lot of ways. It's almost got like weird like rap delivery vocal style, but yeah, what do you think of it?
I thought it was more than I even knew what I was in for. It was pretty fabulous. I never thought I'd use that word for describing a death metal album.
Look at inside the booklet and shit too.
It's really high quality metal, very, very original, amazing rhythms that you don't really find in a lot of death metal at all. Very tribal, phenomenal guitar work. The vocals really grow on you at first. I think what made me not get into Dim Mac were the vocals, because for some reason I was just so much into
he like repeats the same thing over again. He's like,
yeah, like I did have I had this album, and as much as I love it, the vocals were not really, they're very repetitive.
Those vocals, not for me.
But the approach I wasn't too used to. I was more used to guttural stuff of late 2000 or late 90s, early 2000s, but
that's the same vocalist from Ripping Corpse too.
Yeah.
It's like completely different.
Yeah, I think it seems more perfect for Ripping Corpse than Dim Mac, but Dim Mac's its own entity thing. But Sean Kelly's phenomenal for guitar player.
Oh yeah.
I never thought I was one of the biggest Eric Rutan fans it could be, and
actually
it's surprising
because Sean Kelly, he posted about it. Like, you can't find this. You can't find this.
I'm surprised I didn't get into this band sooner, because I'm such a Rutan fan. And they're almost like blood brothers. If you hear their lead playing, it's almost like the same player.
They definitely influence each other.
Unbelievable.
I think they're famous for like playing like a little lead in like the middle of like a passage, like just like and
then it's gone. Yeah.
So
Enter the Dragon, is that it? No, sorry, Cobra's Eyes. I don't know why I said Enter the Dragon. Cobra's Eyes. Man, that opening hook is one of the best things I've ever heard on a death metal album. It makes you replay it because it's only there, but I almost wish they built around that idea because it's so potent. But
my least favorite song on this is I'm Sorry. It's like, I'm sorry. Like, some of the lyric delivery is
your band should cover that.
I'm sorry. But other than that, it's pretty sick. My favorite song is probably Gas Poured Onto Flame. Like,
I thought you were a Rope-a-Dope fan.
I am?
Yeah. Okay.
I ain't no Rope-a-Dope. That's when Muhammad Ali's on the ropes. I actually put a lot of these tracks on YouTube when they didn't exist on YouTube. So if you go and look for these, I have the highest view count. And then Sean Kelly put it up next, his music, and that's great.
And he doesn't talk to him anymore.
No, he doesn't like
I'm just kidding. I would say it's a must-own if you can find it. Really hard to find.
It's a lot different from everything else they've done too. It definitely has more thrash influence for sure.
And I would say the highlight is the drumming.
Yeah, Brandon Thomas is fucking nuts, man.
Unbelievable. And it's not how much he plays, it's how he plays it. And modern musicians should pay attention to that, because it's not, I mean, anyone can play an instrument, but it's how that person kind of creates their own thing.
I remember getting into this when I worked at Sammy J. Pepper's as a cook, and I'd get off work at like 2 a.m. And I just remember one day listening to Defy the Clouds in pouring rain. This is a big album for me during like film school and like a really rough period of my life, so really like that album a lot. Overall review for that?
9 point. It's a 10 out of 10. I don't think there's any weak song on it.
I give it 9.5 because I'm sorry.
All right, and carrying on to Disincarnate, I gave this to Jesse, and your thoughts on it?
Fucking sick. Like, actually, me and my buddies had this on tape when I was younger, but the album cover, I don't know. It's not for me, man. It's too like fucking 90s. Like, it looks like it's gonna be something different than what it is. You know what I mean? It looks like it's gonna be like a groove album almost or something.
Would you say it's dated? The artwork's like 90s
super
dated.
90s, like dated. The small D on Disincarnate, like it looks like a crappy groove album, and then you turn it over and you're like, okay, like it's actual, like probably gonna be good. So I just never gave it like a listen when I was younger, and then you were always talking about it, James Murphy. It's honestly probably the only album that James Murphy has ever wrote all the rhythms on, right?
Outside of his solo work, I don't know if he's done anything. I'm sure he contributed.
He's just like a
to every band he's been in. I'm
he's
sure
like
he
a gunslinger. He just goes in. He was on Cancer just as like a guest, like lead player. Like
he's on the most essential albums ever.
Like, yeah, just pops in, and he's like, see ya.
Well, Spiritual Healing, I mean, that's a whole video in itself. His guitar work on that. So, your thoughts on it?
Fucking definitely really, really cool. There's a lot going on this album. I would say it takes like multiple listens.
Yeah, there's a lot there. You don't get it all in one take.
One thing I will say, like, I really, really enjoy parts of it, but a lot of the songs are a bit long for me. I feel like they kind of drag on a little bit.
So the structures, you think, might be the weak point of the album?
I feel like it needed some editing, and I feel like every song almost has the same format. Like it's like intro, riff, rhythm, and then like really weird like mid part like breakdown. And I feel like most of them
think it's
cool.
more systematic instead of varied?
Yeah. Although I think it's the third song, Beyond the Flesh, just comes in with that really fucking, it's like a really like dun, 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 whereas like all the other songs start really fast. So, but overall it's a fucking awesome album. I would say a couple of songs kind of run together. I would say the strongest song was number 5, Monarch of the Sleeping Marches.
It's one of the best death metal songs ever done.
Fucking awesome. That one
I think
really
the intro riff is one of, like, after when the drums break out, it's one of the best fucking
weird,
metal
like,
riffs ever made.
It's almost like a mellow death, like hook, like chorus.
Oh yeah,
almost like black metal-y, like mellow deathy almost.
No, it has like a mystique to it. You're like, like it's.
That was definitely the most interesting song on the entire album. I actually like the demo versions of a couple of those songs a bit better. I felt like they had a bit more grime to them.
I was gonna interject with Stench of Paradise Burning on the demo. Is just the drum attack of Alex Marquez of
more aggressive,
phenomenal drummer. So that is better on the demo. But for me, sorry, you had any last moments? I totally stole this from you. Sorry. I think Monarch of the Sleeping Marches kind of came as a curveball. Connor from Abuse and Hawaii Phenom, former bandmate, brother, showed me this song, and it really helped me kind of create the vacuous sound. Not like I didn't like steal it, but to have like the reverb guitars just kind of hang there. I was gonna say integrated in vacuous a lot.
The vocal delivery on this reminds me of the stuff that you do.
Oh my god, that's such a compliment. I don't know about that, but thank you. I love the vocal approach, and even like the outro when the chorus on Monarch repeats, and then that growl comes in. That's totally what I do on like all my stuff. So I definitely was highly influenced by this. I think it's the perfect album for its time in metal. I mean, it's 90. I'm so stupid right now. 92, 93 came out. I probably look retarded right now, but it was very, very innovative. A lot of bands were breaking away from thrash, and this was kind of the thickness of the sound, the thickness of the vocals. I don't know, there's a lot of palm mutes in this that, Suffocation was doing, but this is more like death-oriented style death metal. But it's not thrashy. It has just that.
Oh, I would say there is some thrash.
Yeah, there is, but the general mix is very thick. And
it was song number 6 or something. It sounds exactly like this one Massacre song.
Yeah.
I don't know if I showed you Massacre.
Yeah, you showed me tons.
But yeah, it's like an exact like I was like, wow, very close.
But it's a gem.
Not a lot of thrash, but
for that day in metal, like that year in metal, it's definitely way ahead of its time. I think, like, ridiculously heavy album. There's a few slow riffs just come out of nowhere and then just kind of consume you, and then the rest of the song just kind of goes in a different tone to contrast from the really up tempo.
You know what's a weird thing of Tears?
What?
There's just a bunch of fucking bands always write about like
Tears,
like raindrops.
Well, metalheads cry too. Well, I don't, but anyways, Land of Tears, Pestilence. There's other bands.
Oppressor has, I think it's maybe the same thing, fucking something of Tears.
We should just
Ocean of Tears.
put a compilation album of Tears.
What's with death metal bands and writing about having like oceans of tears? Like, lift some weights.
Anyways, your rating of the album?
Give it a solid 8.5.
I give it a 9.5. I don't know if James Murphy wrote an album, like a death metal album, beyond this, but I'm happy with just having this because it's such a pinnacle of innovative metal in early 90s.
I think it's pronounced Pineapple, actually, but
Pineapple?
We'll move on from there.
Anyways, any last words on this episode of whatever we're going to call it? No last words. All right, that's everything. Thanks for joining us. And we'll try to get these videos out a bit more frequently because we're busy boys.
Yeah, we work for a living. Try it out.